Hello people, today we are going to learn about economics of unemployment and its natural rate. The problem of unemployment is usually divided into two categories, the long run problem and the short run problem. The natural rate of unemployment, the cyclical rate of unemployment. The economy's natural rate of unemployment refers to the amount of unemployment that the economy normally experiences. Cyclical unemployment refers to the year-to-year fluctuation in unemployment around its natural rate, and it is closely associated with the short run-ups and downs of economic activity. Describing unemployment. Three basic questions. How does government measure the economy's rate of unemployment? What problems arise in interpreting the unemployment data? How long are the unemployed typically without work? So let's see how we can answer these questions. How is unemployment measured? Unemployment is measured by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is also known as BLS. It surveys 60,000 randomly selected households every month. The survey is called Current Population Survey. How is unemployment measured? Based on the answers to the survey question, the BLS places each adult into one of the three categories: employed, unemployed, and not in the labor force. So, unemployed and not in labor force are not the same thing. This we have to remember, because unemployed are the ones who are interested in employment but are not able to get the job. Not in the labor force means they are not actively looking or they are not interested in doing job. How is unemployment measured? The BLS considers a person an adult if he or she is over 16 years of old, 16 years of age. A person is considered employed if he or she has spent most of the previous week working at a paid job. A person is unemployed if he or she is on temporary layoff, is looking for a job, or is waiting for the start date of a new job. The BLS defines the labor force as the sum of employed and unemployed. The labor force includes both employed and unemployed. A person who fits neither of these categories, such as full-time student, homemaker, or retiree, is not in the labor force. So this is very important thing to know, who are not in the labor force. Labor force that is the total number of workers including both employed and unemployed. Labor force is also equal to number of employed plus number of unemployed. In 2001, the number of people employed were 135.1 million in United States. Unemployed were 6.7 million, and not in labor force means not interested in working like students and homemaker was 70.1 million. This signifies total adult population in United States, and this is labor force 141.8 million. How is unemployment measured? The unemployment rate is calculated as the percentage of labor force that is unemployed. Unemployment rate is equal to number of unemployed divided by labor force multiplied by 100. This is how we calculate the unemployment rate. How is unemployment measured again? Another way, the labor force participation rate is the percentage of adult population that is in the labor force. That is, labor force participation rate is equal to labor force divided by adult population multiplied by 100. Labor force is equal to 1 point, looking at the data previously shown in 2001, labor force is equal to number of people employed plus number of people unemployed, which was 141.8 million, and unemployment rate will be calculated as 6.7, which is number of unemployed, divided by total labor force multiplied by 100. So this is the unemployment rate. And labor force participation rate is equal to total number of people are in the labor force. That means employed and not employed divided by total adult population and multiplied by 100, which is 66.9%. This is labor force experiences of various demographic group. So this is just a data which is not quite visible, so let's skip it. This is a chart for unemployment rate since 1960s. Percentage of labor force, and this is natural rate of unemployment. This is unemployment rate. Labor force participation for men and women since 1950. Here we can see that the number of women in the labor force are increasing every day. It's going up. Men is about constant, going a little bit down. More women are working now than before. The increase in women's labor force participation is easy to understand, but the fall in men's may seem puzzling. There are several reasons for this decline. First, young men now stay in school longer than their fathers and grandfathers did. Second, older men now retire earlier and live longer. Third, with more women employed and more fathers are now stay at home to raise their children. Full-time students, retirees, and stay-at-home fathers are all counted as out of labor force. Does unemployment rate measure what we want it to? It is difficult to distinguish between a person who is unemployed and a person who is not in the labor force. Discouraged worker, individuals who would like to work but have given up looking for a job. Other people may claim to be unemployed in order to receive financial assistance, even though they aren't looking for work. How long are the employed without work? Most people who become unemployed will soon find jobs. Yet most of the economy's unemployment problem is attributable to the relatively few workers who are jobless for a long period of time. Why are there always some people unemployed? The question refers to natural rate of unemployment, and the reason are frictional unemployment and structural unemployment. So let's see what do these mean. Frictional unemployment is the unemployment that results because it takes time for workers to search for the jobs that best suit their taste and skill. Structural unemployment is the unemployment that results because the number of jobs available in the same labor market is insufficient to provide a job for everyone who wants one. Three possible reasons for the above equilibrium wage problem, wage resulting in the structural unemployment: minimum wage law, union, and efficiency wages. So let's see what are these. Minimum wage laws. When the wage is above the equilibrium level, the quantity of labor supplied exceeds the quantity of labor demanded, and the workers are unemployed because they are waiting for the jobs to open up. Unions. When a union raises the wage above the equilibrium level, it raises the quantity of labor supplied and reduces the quantity of labor demanded, resulting in unemployment. Those workers who remain employed are better off, but those who were previously employed and are now unemployed at the higher wage are worse off. Indeed, unions are often thought to cause conflict between different groups of workers, between the insiders who benefit from high union wages and the outsiders who do not get the union wages in jobs. Efficiency wages. Efficiency wages above equilibrium wages paid by the firms in order to increase the worker productivity. The novel insight of efficiency wage theory is that paying high wages might be profitable because they might raise the efficiency of firms' workers. Let's understand unemployment from wage above the equilibrium level. So this is the what is equilibrium? Equilibrium is when the demand of the labor equals the demand supply, labor supply. So this is the equilibrium. WE denotes the equilibrium. This is a point where the demand and supply match. So if the government raises the minimum wage to this one, which is above the equilibrium level, we can see that the demand of labor decreases but the supply of labor increases. So this surplus leads to unemployment because the companies willing to pay the higher minimum wage is less, but the people who are willing to work for a higher minimum wage is more. So there is more labor but less jobs available for higher minimum wage, so which leads to the unemployment. Let's see another case where government lowers the minimum wage to here, this point. If the government lowers the minimum wage below the equilibrium, what will happen is people willing to work for this amount of money is reduces. The labor supply will reduce to this much, but the demand of labor will increase because demand of labor will be this much. Because many companies will be willing to employ people who are willing to get less amount of money. So the best thing to do is not to put any minimum wage. So automatically the economy will balance itself and the demand and the supply of labor will come in equilibrium. Unions and collective bargaining. A union is a worker association that bargains with employer over wages and working conditions. In the 1940s and 1950s, when unions were at their peak, about a third of the US labor force was ununionized. A union is a type of cartel attempting to exert its market power. Theory of efficiency wages. A firm may prefer higher than equilibrium wages for the following reasons: worker health, worker turnover, worker effort, worker quality. Worker health. Better paid workers eat more nutritious diet, and workers who eat better diet are healthier and more productive. A firm may find it more profitable to pay high wages and have healthy productive workers than to pay lower wages and have less healthy and less productive workers. This type of efficiency wage theory is more relevant for firms in less developed countries where inadequate nutrition is a more common problem. Worker turnover. The more a firm pays its worker, the less often its worker will choose to leave. Thus, a firm can reduce turnover among its workers by paying them high wage. Worker effort. High wages make workers more eager to work for their jobs and thereby their workers an incentive to put forward their best effort. Worker quality. When a firm hires new worker, it cannot perfectly gauge the quality of applicant. By paying high wage, the firm attracts a better pool of workers to apply for its job. So this is all about the economics of unemployment. I hope you got some insights on this one. And if you like my video, come back to my channel for more economic and other geek topics. Thanks for watching.